Perek Tes Mishnah Vov. Pilpeles. Pilpeles is a pepper, which a person in those days would sort of chew on in order to remove bad breath. So Pilpeles Kolshu, even a small amount, that would do the job. And therefore, if a person carries Pilpeles, even a small amount, he carries it in his mouth, then he'd be chayav for hitzah on Shabbos. The itron. Itron is a type of tar. The Bartanura says, itron, what would he use that for? If someone's got a terrible migraine, he would smell or eat tar or apply it on him, and that amount of itron, that tar, would remove the migraine. So the amount of itron is also kosher because you just have to use a very small amount of tar to remove, to get rid of the migraine. Continues the Mishnah. Minei besamim u'minei matchos kol shehem. Minei besamim, spices, and metal, even a very small amount. Now the minei besamim used over here, again the Bartanura says, sorry, it's not the Bartanura. Minei besamim, yes, kol shehem, l'reach tov. Previously we said besamim, that was for cooking purposes. Now the minei besamim brought in this Mishnah is l'reach tov, is for fragrance, to give a nice smell. So again, even a small amount gives a nice smell, and therefore you'd be chayiv even for carrying a small amount of minei besamim. Continues the Mishnah, minei matchas, the metal, even kol shein. Why? So it says the Bartanura, sheroi lasos mehen darbon cotton. Darbon is a goad to use to sort of poke the ox in order to make it go. So you take a sort of a piece of wood, and then you'd put a little point at the top, made out of metal, in order to prod the animal to make it move. So even a kosher, even a small bit of metal used as a goad, then has some sort of function, and therefore you'd be chayav for a small amount. Says the Mishnah, me'avnei ha-mizbeach, something from the stones of the mizbeach in the Beit HaMikdash, or me'afa ha-mizbeach, or from the dust, the earth of the mizbeach, me'kak sfarim, from the decay of sefarim, of scrolls, of Sifrei Kodesh, or me'kek matpchosehem, or the decay of the wrappings, of the coverings of sfarim, kosher, even a small amount. Why? Shematznian oison legonzon, because all of these things at Geniza, they need to be stored away. They have kedusha, and you can't just treat them disrespectfully and throw them away in the garbage, but rather one has to hide them away in a respectful manner. Therefore, even a small amount of them would need Geniza, and therefore carrying even a small amount would be chayav for on Shabbos. Geniza that we refer to nowadays is burying them, but the Geniza in those days was putting them in some sort of chamber, and they would be sealed away, and that was their form of burial, as it were. Of course, we have the Geniza of the famous Cairo Geniza, where famous manuscripts were found, but the Geniza, that's what the Mishnah is referring to. Nowadays, of course, like I said, we just bury them. Okay, continues the Mishnah. Rabbi Yehuda says, even if a person carries a very small amount of avodah zarah, or anything which is used in conjunction with avodah zarah, a person would be chayiv for carrying that on Shabbos. Why? You mustn't carry anything, you mustn't have anything attached from the avodah zarah. You've got to get rid of it. So since the Torah gives it importance, it attaches chashivus, says the Bartanura, to this item of avodah zarah, then even if you carry a small amount, you'd be chayiv. We, however, don't pasuk like this. The halach is like the Chachamim or the Tana mentioned in Perek Zayin Mishnah Gimel, that kol shematzniin you're going to be chayiv for, but kol she'ein matzniin, because these things have got to be burnt, and therefore you're not going to hide it away, and therefore even if it's a very large amount, since the thing has got to be burnt and you're not going to store it away, therefore you would be you would be potter even if you carry a large amount of it. So therefore the halacha is not like Rabbi Yehuda, but rather like the Tana mentioned in Perek Zayin Mishnah Gimel, that since the item has got to be burnt, no one is going to store away any of these things, and therefore you'd be potter if you were to carry any item of Avodas Kechavim. That is the end of Perek Tes Mishnah Vav.